Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Modern Warfare 2 Special Ops on Veteran. Today is arguably the longest mission in the game, but it is kind of like a tower defense kind of mission. If you remember the mission Loose Ends in the campaign, it's the one where you're Roach and you're with Ghost, kind of getting all the files from Makarov's safe house. It's basically that, but you get to do that 3 times, but it's nowhere near as bad as that one was. Because mainly, you have a striker on your side. And let me tell you, that striker is going to be very busy for a lot of this level, and it's pretty much necessary for your survival, really. Not survival, but it just makes the level so much easier, because you can use it as much as you want, it never recharges, and it never gets in the way. Like, the only thing you need to be concerned is that if it's too far away from what you're trying to laze as a target, it won't fire on it. But the only time that'll ever happen is if you literally try to, like, snipe out everyone from the starting area all the way over to the house that's way all the way back there. Otherwise, your striker's going to have no problems getting everything. So, before you actually get started downloading all the different files, naturally you're going to want to clear out all the houses. I like to come into this house through the garage because going through the front door in this house is a pretty easy way to get wrecked. And if you're doing this solo, like I am, you're not going to have a buddy who's going to be there to revive you and easily save you in the event that you go down. So I'm just slowly making sure that everything's cleared out. There's usually a guy up there next to that window. I always make sure that window is clear before starting the download. Here's a little interesting thing that I like doing, is that the turrets actually prevent the enemies from walking into the house. So if you put a turret there, that entrance is basically blocked off. So the only way they can get in at this point is via the front door. And what I'm basically doing is I'm sitting here next to this window, and if you can tell while I'm reloading, I'm actually making the striker go and hit the house that I'm currently in right now. So the striker is taking out everyone who's coming into the front of the house, and the turret's taking care of anyone trying to get in the garage. So I'm pretty much safe. And I could theoretically just sit here and do nothing, and everything would be fine. I wouldn't have to do a single thing. But no, because, you know, the recording purposes, I get up a couple times and I take a few pot shots at stuff. But once the download is complete, make sure that there aren't like 1 or 2 dudes that'll just ruin your day, because that can happen sometimes. I picked up the P90 before starting the download, so I'm gonna like run back to get all the ammo that's all the way back there. I didn't know that ammo was there for a good while, and then I learned it was there. I was like, sweet, I can use my flashbangs as much as I want now. And you're gonna need flashbangs, especially when you get to the house that's all the way at the end. That house on the left, man, that house always messes me up because people just get lucky at that house for whatever reason. Like, I don't get shot from anywhere else. It's this house only that just really ruins me. Burning cars make me so nervous because whenever I'm near them, it's just like, oh my goodness, did this vehicle already explode at some point? Or, like, will it explode on me? Am I gonna die? I don't know. It's just one of those things in these kind of games where it's like, I wonder if the cars explode, and then you die like 6 times because you're like, oh crap, they do. So I don't recommend doing this at all. Oh, I thought I was going to go into the front entrance. I was going to scold past me for doing that. But you want to come in through the garage entrance here. And this is kind of dumb too, because there's a lot of places that the enemies can hide and easily get you. But here, the enemies in this lower level almost always hide in the same positions. There's usually a dude standing next to that door. There's usually a guy tucked away in that corner that I just shot at. And there's a guy over here to the left. Yeah, that guy right there. He's ruined so many of my runs because I'm like, oh, sweet, I'm perfectly fine. And then I run out there like an idiot and then I just get shot. Just shot dead in like 2 seconds and I have no idea what the hell hit me. There's also a dude over here on the left, like near the pool tables. He's like cowering behind a wall, kind of, and you're going to see him as I come around this corner. Yeah, see, that guy? That guy has messed me up whenever I set up defenses around. Like, I'm setting up my turrets and stuff. He's just sitting there, and he destroys, like, all of my turrets as I start the down. It's like, really, bro? He just ruins my day sometimes. And there's so many, like, evil placements of enemies. Like, this guy right here next to the bathroom. Oh, man. Like, there are so many enemies that I specifically remember in a lot of these levels because they're the guys that get me every time. And it's so genius. Because the enemies that they place are just in such perfect positions that they'll catch you out every time. It's amazing. So once I take out everyone in the lower level along with a couple people on the main floor, I run back and I pick up the turret that I used in the first house. Sometimes this turret dies at some point. I don't know why. Sometimes it just does. You just don't get lucky enough. And I get some ammo as well. Because that, you know, that's important. You kind of need that in order to shoot things. So I run back, get the turret, because having 3 turrets at this point is really nice. Some people will actually tell you to go rush the left house first, and that's kind of nice, rushing that house first, so you know for a fact that you have 3 turrets. But I like doing it in this order because I'd rather have no turrets for the first house, or I'd rather have no turrets for the last house than no turrets for the first house. I don't know why. I'm just really stupid like that. But yeah, this guy over here, I have no idea where he came from. And he just destroyed one of my turrets, and that made me a very sad panda. But I still have 2 turrets, so I'm still going to be able to kick ass and take some names. But I sit in a different position every time, but because this turret died, I sit my butt over here and basically hope that no one comes around and ruins me. Normally, if all 3 of my turrets, or if none of my turrets did get destroyed, like that jerk did, I would sit in the bathroom, up the stairs to my left. Right up front, there's a bathroom, and if you hide out in there and you just continually target the house with the striker, for the most part, like 60% of the time, well, that's not most, but it's still better than half, but generally more often than not, you can just sit there and nothing bad will happen. But sometimes silly stuff like this happens where one of your turrets gets destroyed while you're busy, you know, making sure that we have plenty of sandwiches and snack foods for all the visitors that we have while we're downloading some illegal files or something like that. I don't know, but you know, I'm having a good time just setting up all my claymores and stuff like that, which I don't, because I don't particularly like the claymores for this level. I tried claymores once in this level, and right as soon as I started the download, one of them exploded and I died. Because there was an enemy that spawned like right behind me and I just blew up and I died. And since then I said, you know what, I'm never going to use claymores in this level ever again. Because I was so paranoid that one of them would go off and take me or my turrets. But anyway, so now that we have the second download done, we only have 1 more. The other reason I like rushing or saving the house on the left for last, or right side now, but the reason I like saving that house for last is because there's kind of like a back entrance that sort of circles around almost to where the tank stops. And geez, I don't like, I'm just going to tell you guys this right now. Don't bother clearing out the main floor and the second floor of that house. You're not going to need to do it. And my success rate at that is abysmal. You know, with practice, I probably could have been better at it, but ain't nobody got time for that. And there's no reason to do it, because you can do perfectly fine without it. I think this was my second try. The first take got ended really fast because I got shot from a guy on the left side of the house like 2 minutes into the level. So, ooh, that was really close. I really should have died there. But otherwise, not too many bad things happened. And usually when bad stuff happens to me in recordings, I usually like to commit to it. Like that turret getting destroyed in the second house. It's like, oh man, I really wish it didn't happen, but I kept it in because it's like, you know what, I made it. You know, ultimately, I think people like it better when I screw up on camera because I'll admit it, I am kind of a perfectionist when it comes to these videos. So I'm like, no, this run must be perfect. But then like one tiny little thing goes wrong, and it's like, ugh, I really want to restart it, but it's like 8 minutes of footage, and I don't want to restart. So for levels like this, I kind of just took the first run that I had. So, like, I didn't care how sloppy it was unless it was something real dumb. But otherwise, you're pretty much most of these were first takes. Most of these, like pretty much the only ones that weren't were longer missions like this, where I just kind of get like sniped out all the way at the end, or somewhere in between, or the ones where I rushed. And the rush ones are always hilarious because I almost always end up like near dead, but not really. So, but the rush ones are kind of funny because you're just like, oh my god, running through all the levels, and I just think that's pretty hilarious. But I only had one turret going into this last house, and I put it right at the top of the stairs because enemies like to come into the door that's to my right, along with the garage entrance as well. But you notice that I picked up a few claymores earlier in this sort of back room. Enemies like to climb in through that window that's in that room, and if you plant a claymore there, it'll catch all of them. So definitely be sure that you pick those up. Oh yeah, this is the only time I use claymores. Okay guys, disregard past me like 5 minutes ago where I said I did claymores once and never again. I do, but only in that one specific instance. Like, you should have seen the run where I used claymores, because it's just like, oh, I'll just plant all these claymores here, and then all of them exploded. It was hilarious. But we're almost done. Thankfully, I'm glad that they didn't make it so that you had to pick up the DSM. But having it get interrupted every 2 seconds is really annoying, and that's why this last one can be kind of annoying. But once you get that last download, hop out of this window, and from here, it's basically a straight shot to the striker. Yeah, thanks, Ghost. I'd try, but today's not the time for new best times. But thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys later.